Oh shit, I just remembered something. Right. Thanks, Pedro, for your beautiful music. No, what am I doing? I'm clicking. Oh my god, I've forgotten how to operate streams again. I'm a little drummer boy. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, what are we doing? What am I clicking on? I'm clicking on something. Is it this one I'm clicking on? Yes, it is. And then we're going to change this video that's playing in the background to be the video I just made for the background. But where's it going to be? Is it this one? November, December trailer, 14th heavy workflow. Bam! This is probably... Yeah, no audio. Perfect. Now, you may wonder... Well, actually, you might not wonder. You might just think it's fashion nowadays. Well, I'm wearing this lovely outfit and that hat, which won't fit my head because I need to edit it because it's not a Kyrgyzstan thing or anything. It's fine. It's there's a Victoriana steampunk military thing type party on New Year's at my mate's house, and I just got this, so I was trying it on, and I was like, I better stream. And there's steampunky things, and I've got some steampunky medals. And I used to do lots of LARP and things, so I've got lots of props around the house that are cool, like this. So you might remember I used to wear this sort of like military green jacket, and it's still downstairs. It's got all my Star Citizen pins on it, but I got fat, and it is like several sizes too small for me now. So I like wear it, and the tightest, it's sort of like the closest I can get it to my belly, like getting around me, is sort of like this. Sort of like it's just bursting open. But this actually fits properly. But yes, hello. I might at some point start to do little Star Citizen skits because the voiceover IP stuff is there and it does work pretty well. And you can do the crazy eyes. So you could do something like girls are coming to Star Citizen soon. We're going to have them in 3.5, so I need to get ready for dating tips. And then we can do dating tips with crazy faces and things like that. I don't know. But yeah, so there's lots of stuff we can do with Star Citizen pretty soon. I'm employing someone to work with me now because I ain't got enough. If you see how many videos have been pumping out, oh my god, my brain is melting. And next week I know it's going to be hell because there's going to be so much coming out with Star Citizen. And I do want to start doing some gameplay stuff. Oh, thank you very much for your chuffs. 10 chuffs. I don't know what a chuff is. Czechoslovakian francs. But thank you very much. Hey, Board, you're the best. Svenok. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. Thank you. I'm glad you like my jacket. It's appreciated. Look, now, if you want to ask a question about anything, question in brackets. But, as you can see in the background, this is Microtech. And it's weird, because I thought the entire of Microtech was going to be an icy ball of ice And this is Clem Morris, the druggy dude in Levski. He'll give you druggy missions. But the Microtech, the fact it's got like these Nordic forests, that's pretty cool. I didn't know it was going to have that. Got female models. They're actually using Morphe stuff and things to get one-to-one parity with the female models and female items and armor. And there's no, at the moment anyway, no female-specific armor. It's gender-neutral armor, which is actually pretty cool if you think about it, because typically you'll have female and male armor in like MMOs, and they hypersexualize stuff. And you won't have that in Star Citizen so much. However, you might have some cool clothing that is not gender-neutral. But how's everyone doing today? How's everyone? Everyone good? You good? Is this the right size? Let me fit the screen just in case. I'm sure that's right. Some more Nordic forests. That's good. We like Nordic forests. Why wouldn't we? But yeah, 3.4. I think we're probably going to have 3.4. Probably a wider PTU later today, and we've got Wave 0 as I now call it, which is Evocadi, Concierge, and subscribers. It's currently who have access to 3.4 PTU. But hopefully that will go to a wider build, so more people can get access to it. It's pretty good, pretty solid. I'm hoping they get all the quality of life stuff in, so that we actually have a polished 3.4 branch. Well, it's an extension of 3.3. It's not kid around with it. A load of the juicy content got pushed to 3.5, and 3.5 is probably the patch I've been waiting for a very long time. Mainly because of the new flight model, but also female characters and a load of other stuff. Now, some of that stuff in 3.5 might get pushed back to 3.6, but new flight model, boom, that's what I'm after. What do we got? What do we got here? Anything interesting question-wise? Hey, Bored, when do you think we're about to jump into another star system? I think it's stuff that they'll start to show next year. They'll start to show jump points, start to show other systems, but I'm not sure when we're going to be able to do it ourselves. I think at the earliest end of next year, but I think that might be a bit too overly enthusiastic. No, what's the word I'm thinking of? You know, that word. I'm not going to be on for long. I'm on a lot of anti-flu stuff, and it feels like my throat is literally being crushed. As I do look a little, it looks a little bit like either a little drummer boy or the Nutcracker, doesn't it? Should I get an eye patch? I'm gonna go steampunky eye patch. Should Hurston have a space station for industry-type sales of ore and trading? Makes a ton of sense, since Crusader and Olisar take so long to enter atmosphere ammo. Yeah, I do think that some of those big planets should have stations above them that allow you to do big industry trading. I also think that going that route, there should be... they should take a cut off the top. So like you pay an extra 10% of the cargo, like in trade value, or maybe you have to pay a load of money to actually dock with them, or something like that. A space station in orbit that you can do big transfers with, and then they transfer that down to Thingamajig for you, or whatever, or they're just a middleman and they make a load of money like that. I think it's a good idea, and I think it's a good idea to have those sort of like large space stations above or in orbit of city planets and things like that. I think that just makes sense. I'm 33, I think. I think I'm 33. I know I look weathered and old. But I don't care. I just don't give a fuck. No. I've worked out what's best in life, and it's not the lamentations of the women and the step in your hair. It's none of that. It's being able to enjoy life, eat nice food, chill out with your mates, and feel comfortable. I like being comfortable. That's what I want. I want to be in my comfort zone. I want to be at home with a nice hot water bottle, which is on my lap, wrapped in a little blanket. Just like, oh my god, I'm going to play some computer games. That's what I want. That's what's best in life. Okay? Deal with that. And the jacket is a fancy dress costume for New Year's for a steampunk party. Victoriana sort of military-esque party thing. At my mate's house, but I just got it today, so I thought I'd put it on. Are you looking forward to the potential concept sale this month? Yeah, I mean, I quite enjoy concept sales of vehicles and ships, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, why are they making ships and concepts? I mean, if you think deeply within yourself and your soul, you'll know that they are trying to fund the game, and very few people work on those concept ships and those new ships and stuff. So it's not slowing down the game. It's only making the game better, getting more money for the game, and potentially making the game progress faster, maybe? I don't fucking know. But I like concept sales. I like the cool new things. I like cool new things. I like news. So yes, I'm looking forward to a potential cool concept this month. Maybe a ground vehicle, might be Titan suits. I'm going to sneeze. Might be something for Squadron 42. Or in Squadron 42, might be the Drake Corsair. Because lots of stuff it could be. It might be something I have no bloody clue about. Do you know what is happening with component insurance or permanence? Would love to keep components after ship, bug, or crash consistently. So yeah, they want full persistence in as soon as possible. You'll start to see more and more persistence and different levels of insurance at some point. I don't have an ETA for you though. It could be as soon as the middle of next month, middle of next year. That's when I would expect that sort of stuff to happen. But that is pulling it out of my ass. Do you think ArcCorp will allow us to walk around everywhere, or just in certain areas? Just in certain areas. The planet will be explorable from air, so you'll be able to look around. It might have some close air shields, like Thingamajig does, like Lorville does. Or they might open it up more, and if you go out of certain corridors, then they might shoot you down or something like that. But there'll be some restrictions where you can move to, and there'll be lots of hero locations, or some hero locations that you can go to, and there'll be some procedural interior that you can go around and look around in, but the whole thing will not be explorable on the ground. And there's no reason to make it like that. That there needs to be reasons for you to go there. They want to be able to have high quality areas for shops and things, so they can have a reasonable amount of procedural tech there, and quite large areas. I mean, more than it is in any other game ever, and expect some quite large areas, but I wouldn't expect everything to be entirely explorable. Do you think the Hawk will make it in the last second at 3.4? Yes. I expect it to. Do you think those fancy new clothes for Hurston will be available soon? So the business sort of like high management clothes could be, but they only showed those clothes from Jeremiah Lee's concept art. So, I don't know. I suspect they've actually got quite a lot of that done, quite a lot of clothing for Squadron 42, and lots of the clothing sets, at least partly done, even ones for the more far future. But, oh, Robert Johnson, oh, I know it's you because I saw a billion, zillion, trillion dollars appear. Oh, for fuck's sake, I came here thinking it was Adam Ant. And it was like, it's BoredGamer! Feck off. Oh, wow. Thanks. That's high praise. Thank you very much. That's a ridiculous amount of money. You always give me a ridiculous amount of money, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll put it to... I need to... Like, send me... If you want me to promote anything ever for you, Robert, like an org you want me to look at or whatever, I'm starting to do these new org spotlights, which will start in the next couple of weeks, probably. So if you want me to have a look at anything like that, please tell me. I don't know. I don't know how much it is. It's 100... Some form of dollar. It's probably more than £50 now because of Brexit. The New Zealand dollar is probably worth more 1-to-1 on my currency now. Bloody England, eh? You're expecting a release date announcement for Squadron 42 next week. That would be fucking amazing, in fairness, wouldn't it? That would be amazing. I want that, but I'm not expecting it. I am expecting the Squadron 42 Episode 1 release schedule. No. You've put words in my own mouth. The roadmap, in fact, to go on to the roadmap we currently have. And I hope that shows that it could potentially be done by the end of next year. But it would be amazing if we got a release date. I mean, we've deserved one since 2015, haven't we, eh? Come on, subboard. I do love my 40k. Do you think there'll ever be a reason to settle down in Star Citizen and get a good job on a planet, make a company? So, Adam Cowie, I think there's going to be two sides of Star Citizen. There's going to be more, but two main sides. You can play it like you would like Eve and play it relatively hardcore, or you can play it to grind money and have your own goals and try and knock down systems and go around and make more money and get this, like, eventually I'm assuming you'll be able to buy like super capital, redemption, super destroyer, dreadnought things like that in the future, and it might be 5 years time they release like these giant space stations and giant ships that you could potentially buy or whatever. But I think there's going to be that sort of like late game gameplay that allows you to jump in, play really hard like high level raid type gameplay with groups of people. But there's also going to be people that want to play it like Second Life, and they're going to be living on planets there, or they might. And then with that you could do loads of different things. But there's also going to be the super focused economic and industrial sort of element where some people are going to want to build bases and then maintain those bases as efficiently as possible. So yeah, I do think there's going to be some players that want to just live on a single planet and will make that viable in some way. You might have to request people to drop off resources to you. You might have to be sensible about trades. You might have to work with other people, but I think that's all part of the fun and the gameplay, eh? Like everyone was assuming Microtech was going to be all ice and snow. Yes, I did think that as well. Not knowing about these nice looking forests. Was ArcCorp supposed to be all city? ArcCorp is supposed to be all city. I suppose there might be little areas of gardens or little habitats that they've not put cities on. So from what we've seen, it's an entire city planet though. So when we see the big city planet, we will be able to explore all of it at some point, like every building? No. Bannerwolf, you'll be able to fly over it, you'll be able to have a look at it from like flying over, but the interiors, only some of the interior will be modelled, and they're going to be focusing on some hero areas, so they'll draw you in for purposes, so there'll be particular shops there, there'll be mission givers there, but there'll be a large amount of interior to explore, but not everything. It will probably only be like, it'll probably be a very small percentage of the planet, in fact, will be able to be explored on the ground, like planets like ArcCorp. As far as I'm aware, anyway. Maybe they will put some like big highways to connect the landing zones between parts of the planet. They'll probably have trains and tram systems, so in that sense, you'll be able to explore huge parts of the planet, but you're not going to be able to just freely walk everywhere. As far as I'm aware, anyway. Think we'll see any Squadron 42 gameplay this holiday stream? I hope so. That's the assumption. The holiday live stream, or sorry, the holiday special. There's no holiday live stream this year. There's no holiday live stream this year, as far as we are aware. Jared even said that. But there might be a holiday special, which would be a pre-recorded video, and or lots of different information posts. So we are expecting the Squadron 42 Episode 1 roadmap to be added to the roadmap we have. We're expecting roadmap updates, and we're probably expecting a concept sale, other cool things, potentially some announcements. Like at the end of the year, they might go, and we're doing this, and we've got a new partner for this, and maybe the face over IP webcams from Faceware, stuff like that might happen. And probably as well, 3.4 will probably be live at that time as well. So we're thinking 20th, 21st of December next week, Thursday, Friday next week. Probably a flight-ready sale as well for the Freelancer and the Hawk, hopefully. Do you feel like the Miss Freelancer should have military-grade components? Yes, I actually do. I think that would be a good thing for it as well. But it does have lots of missiles, and that's the main thing you'd buy it for, eh? Freelancer Max versus the Constellation Taurus. Constellation Taurus. I was literally thinking about that earlier today. For me, it's the Constellation Taurus. How optimistic are you that ArcCorp can make it into 3.5? Well, I was really optimistic that it was going to make it into 3.4, but that turned out to be incorrect, didn't it? Yeah. I am Password as optimistic as I am about anything Star Citizen. I hope it will make it. They've said that's where it's planned, so I expect it to be there, and then occasionally they move that out. I'd say I'm 75% sure. It dropped by 5% as I was saying it. 75% sure it'll be in 3.5. There you go. Are you secretly trying to promote Matadors? Is this the Matadors? Oh, I see. They have... Matadors are sending me some gear to wear. And I was like, oh, I might wear it. I'll make my other board gamers and stuff that are going to be working with me soon. I'll make them wear it. No, that's... Why would I secretly promote the Matadors? I'm pretty chill with Matadors. I know a lot of people hate them. I'm sorry if you disagree with me, and that's fine. It's totally within your remit to dislike Matadors. However, as long as no one's being trolly bastards, genuine trolling and griefing, then I'm okay with any type of gameplay. And I think it desensitizes Star Citizen players and exposes exploits in the system. So I'd rather have that than not have that. But obviously, if there's any bullying, like genuine bullying or anything that is bad, or some sort of racism, whatever, obviously I don't condone that. I don't know everything that every player does. So I'm sure someone will be, I've got proof that they killed my cat, or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, report that to CIG, not to me. On the PTUs, they get everything working, they go live with the update, example 3.3.4 update, but those not all the PTU get the update and stuff don't work, like drop boxes missions. Sorry, Loki, I got a bit confused by your things. Currently in 3.4's PTU, a lot more of the missions are accessible and it's reasonably stable. It's not the most stable. There are still server crashes they need to fix, but the admins will not desync in there. We're not going AFK or becoming unresponsive. I was able to get, I think every mission I did, I was able to complete. And there's a lot. There's a lot of missions everywhere as well. Admiral BoredGamer, fine jacket, sir. Oh yeah, Cookie. I'll want the Mohawk. They want the Mohawk. Oh. One second. Save image. There goes one. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh shit. There's other people in all these pictures of my ex. Which makes me feel very uncomfortable. Oh my fucking god, sorry. Looking through old pictures. Oh my god. Sorry, I know you can't see these and I'm just giggling away. I cannot find an appropriate one. Oh no, we got one here. We've got one here. Well, I mean, it's not the best. It's not the best, but let's show these. Let's show a couple of these. I know people have been waiting to see me when I wasn't a fat bastard. And one day I will be less of a fat bastard again, but it's not today. Let's go to the desktop. Let's get rid of that. Can you see this? Yes, you can. Bam. So this is me when I was a bit younger. You can see like the top of the mohawk, but that's when my hair was very thin. And that's me thinking, like, one day I'll be a fat YouTuber, and I'll be happier. But I'll have a look for some proper mohawk pictures at some point for you, in its all its glory, but pre-bald. One of my mate's friends once came up to me And when I was very thin with the mohawk, and just went, mate, just let it go, let it go. You need to get rid of that, mate. You're not fooling anyone. Oh God, he was right. He was right. It was gone. Will the player base be able to build in very dense areas, like basically have a fully explorable player-built city? We don't know the extent of building in game beyond what they've already talked about. For player buildings, we know that you're about to build outposts with the Pioneer, and potentially you're about to build a few other structures, like defense turrets and things like that, or otherwise bring defense turrets to a planet. We're not entirely sure exactly how that will work, and if they are going to have more complex cities and buildings, they haven't talked about them from a player-built perspective yet. BoredGamer, think orgs and players can post up missions? Yes, that will be a thing. And a reasonably robust contract system is what they want to do as well. Have you heard, well at least that's the plan. Have you ever heard of an ETA for the Caterpillar cargo elevators doors to work lower to the ground? It seems strange they're not done yet. I'm not sure if they're supposed to, I suppose they are supposed to lower, aren't they? I always thought they were supposed to be ramps originally, but thinking about it, they are supposed to lower. No, I don't know when. I know that they want to get the command module for the Caterpillar working, but they need ship-to-station docking and then ship-to-ship docking for that to work, and multi-grid physics tech to work as well, so that's a little bit further down the line. And then obviously they're going to be looking at modularity after that. Adam Cowie, thank you very much for the can't wait for salvaging remark. Keep being awesome. Thank you, appreciate it. I will try. Freelancer, are they going to remove or make collapsible the rear turret that impedes vehicles from being loaded? Not as far as I am aware. However, I suppose you could remove the turret, couldn't you? Maybe. I like the idea, Zion Orion. I like the idea. Maybe you could put an AI blade in it, so you don't have to have the turret down. Maybe there's something you could do in the future. Hopefully they'll take it on board, as long as it doesn't require them to remodel the interior. They might have to find another option there. I'm download Winkle 3.4, PT now. Did the Freelancer get a rework also? Nope, not as far as I can tell. Just the Freelancer variants. Do you think they will rework the Lancers again? DUR and Miss look strange in the design. I don't think so. They might reskin them. Might be multiple skins available. What's your rank in Star Citizen? In what sense? What are you talking about? In Arena Commander or Thingamajig? Or I'm a Lieutenant General in there. I don't know what. I'm the best. Cog Z, I'm just the best, okay? I don't need to be good at the game to be good at Star Citizen. Disturbing. What's your favourite part of 3.4? Accessibility to missions. They've also buffed the amount of money you get from missions. They've hooked up all the missions. We can actually go and do things. Like, you can actually go and do mission giver missions. There's lots of stuff like that. You'll be like, oh fuck, there's stuff to do, and it doesn't bug out constantly. I can actually play the game. That will probably keep us busy until March. And there's a reasonable amount to do. Wait, I just realised I should make a large cave to park a ship in with a prospector, should I not? You're not going to be able to deform planets beyond building structures on them and potentially changing topsoil and destroying mineable nodes. With the Freelancer turret, the cargo is centered. If it was on either side, do you think it would be better with the turret? Maybe? Maybe not. I see what you're saying, but I don't know. I'd have to literally do the math, or maths, as we say in the UK, because a single math would be like 1. Do you think they'll rework the constellation? They seemed really weak and die easily. So the times to kill 4 ships will be going up, especially larger ones. They want ships to take damage on components, they want thrusters to get damaged, they want shorts, they want internals to get damaged and stuff, so that you can run around and repair them with multi-crews, and that disabling ships is more likely to happen than them exploding and things like that. So you can potentially repair them, and that will also increase times to kill and things like that. So yeah, all those ships, potentially even fighters, might have higher time to kill, but they'll start to take more damage on components and systems and start to lose functionality. So you'll be like, well, I need to retreat now because I've lost half my ship. But you don't just die. Does CIG still have plans to allow us to create our own servers? I believe that modding and private servers will still be a thing. I suspect that will be far in the future though. Is there more NPC combat in 3.4 outside of SPK? Yes, so the underground FPS AI missions were hooked up. I don't know if they're actually working, because I haven't tried it in this latest patch, but they should be working for 3.4. So we should see some more FPS AI. When will media reporting be a major thing? Don't know. We don't know how that mechanic's actually going to fully work yet. We know they've got the render to texture tech. We know that there's going to be the Mako news van. We know there might be other ways of recording and doing that sort of gameplay, the news reporter media gameplay, but we don't know exactly what that's going to be yet. Any word on geotracks and their uses? Don't know what that is. Geotax and their uses? Can you be more specific, Bruce B? Have they got a different name? Or have I just missed something? Do they have trading and commodities in Hurston area? Yes. So if you go to the new central business district, so you go to L19, the hab area where you spawn, and instead of going to the metro centre, you go down past security and to the left and round. You come to the central line, which is a different train station. That will take you to the Hurston Dynamics headquarters, and there's the Hurston Showcase on the right, which will have a selection of Hurston weapons, but it's just the attrition and dominance at the moment and the current build, so the new Hurston Dynamics weapons. And then to the left you've got basically a economic area which allows you to buy and trade commodities. At the moment I think it's only got Agricium, but that will be fleshed out. I bought a Hull C a week ago. Any news on the status of the ship and when it will be released? So the Hull C requires them a few things to come together before they can finish it, okay? Before it will be flyable in go. They need ship to station docking. They need a way of spawning it, because it can't spawn landed. Well, maybe it can actually. Maybe it can spawn landed and contracted. So they need it contract. They need it to be able to contract. So they need it to be able to contract. So they need the multi-grid physics tech, and they need those animations of the spindles compressing to work. And then they need ship to. No, I suppose they don't need ship to ship docking for it. You just need ship to station docking, and that physics grids. And then they also need cargo 2.0 or whatever they're going to call it working, and that will allow for multiple sizes of cargo boxes, especially the very large ones, which means there's less entities on the servers, which means that they can actually have huge amounts of cargo on the Hull Cs and above without having billions of entities. And when all of that is there, then they can put the Hull C in. It's going well, thank you very much. Underground mission AI is working, but very stupid. Yes, indeed. What do you look forward to the most about lore/rep version 1? Thanks to for all the answers. I suppose it's the expansion of bounty hunter missions and the piracy versus non-pirate gameplay, because piracy versus non-pirate is really interesting, because the non-pirate side is everything from people that just want to be traders, people doing missions, and people doing economic stuff. I suppose other pirates in this sort of context as well. And then also bounty hunters, escorts, and all that sort of stuff. And then you have the outlaw gameplay. They're literally attacking and trying to make money from raiding people, from extorting people, from killing other players, that in quite a risky way sometimes. So yeah, I suppose it's just that gameplay loop coming together that I'm looking forward to the most. Medical gameplay. When do you think that we'll see the basics? We've got to see it soon, haven't we? They're going to want to open hospitals, and then they're going to want to have more and more ways of third-party medics attending you. I don't know. I think we'll see some very basic stuff next year. Co-op missions? Yeah, I mean, they're working on co-op missions and sharing money and people doing missions as groups and getting rep as groups and things like that. That's going to be in the game as soon as they can get it in. But I don't know when that is. Maybe 3.6? Board, you look fabulous. Thank you very much. I'm not going to be on for too long. Do you think that CIG latch onto player-created content too much, as in this week's ATV, deviate people from the fact they're not pushing out much at the moment? Question. So I think they want to celebrate player gameplay every week so that more players get into that. They want players testing the game. They want to see this emerging gameplay because it does affect the stuff that they're going to be putting out in the future. They want to see what people enjoy, what they don't enjoy, what they're doing now. It's good for them. They're going to be pushing out a patch every 3 months, and it's going to take a good long while before Star Citizen is done. And I think they're just trying to show content from the game and from the community. It's not to distract. It's not like haha, let's distract our community with pretty things. Well, I mean, Star Citizen itself is quite a pretty thing, and we know it's going to take ages. So beyond that, I think everyone's on the same page, right? With that, I'm not overthinking it or anything. I'm not thinking, well, people are being dazzled. Haha, they think it's going to be out tomorrow. No one thinks it's going to be out tomorrow. Everyone knows it's going to be like 2 years before we have anything like near a beta, right? Yeah? Yeah? Bro, I have a 980 Ti and specs, and the game is installed on SSD, but Quantum Travel I get stutter and FPS drop. Any suggestions? Is it server related? I don't know. I occasionally have stutter in Quantum Travel, or at least I did in 3.3.7, but it's very brief. It would be like occasional stutter and then done. That was pre 64 gigs of RAM as well. I've got 64 gigs now. How are they thinking about putting the cargo on the Hull C? I mean, with boxes and stuff. So there's varying sizes of cargo, and some of them are going to be placeable by hand. Others will require other ships and ways of placing them. But we won't know much more until we get Cargo 2.0, until they start talking about it. When will we be able to exchange money or items with other players? Do the techs and devs listen to your ideas? Are you in touch with them? You know quite a lot about the sim. I know quite a lot about it, Leo, because I cover it all the time. A lot of the info, or almost all the info, in fact, is out there and available to the public. There's just a lot to go through every day. And because they produce so much content and talk about their games so much, there's quite a lot to go through there. And then all the devs are relatively active, so they talk very often. I think CIG will listen to any good ideas. Like Luke Presley, he's in charge of Star Citizen Live. Like, he updates stuff based on streamers' opinions and player feedback and stuff. And he will add stuff and change stuff into the live build pretty quick, within days sometimes of getting feedback. So, yeah, they listen to everyone's ideas. I might be listened to more because I have a platform, but I don't know. I mean, the issue is that my ideas in Star Citizen aren't necessarily the right ideas. They'd be my ideas. That's why I don't typically do big calls to action of, this is what we should do. I do calls to action of, make sure you have your opinion on this feedback on this forum or whatever. But it's a dangerous road when I start talking about the game that I want, because there's going to be aspects of Star Citizen I probably don't like when it's done. But there's going to be lots of aspects I do like, and I'll probably keep to the ones I like more when it comes to gameplay loops. But everyone's going to have a different idea exactly how those gameplay loops work at the moment, because they're not done, and a lot of them are still being developed. But they are working on persistent inventories, which are coming in 3.5? Let me just have to check. 1 second. 1 second. Bam. Is it 3.6? 3.6 persistent inventories, or sorry, physical inventories. So I'm expecting a lot more sort of like exchanging money and items with other players around that time. So potentially 3.6. They are working more and more group gameplay into the game and that sort of stuff as well. I've just seen someone's chucked money at me, and I love you for it. Such a well-polished channel. Keep it real. Gareth Hutchinson. Thank you very much. I don't think my channel is polished. And I think, personally, and you might say it otherwise, I'm good at talking, and I'm good at talking on the fly because I'm well-researched about my subject matter. But I think my channel is quite raw and quite rough, and I think that's one of the appeals of it. But I appreciate you saying that. That makes me feel a lot better. I've noticed a lot of big streamers and some other larger YouTubers starting to pay attention to Star Citizen, especially the streamers. They're like quite enjoying it because it works very well for stream Star Citizen. It's sort of like you fuck around if you've got a good community or someone to play with, or you want to explore. It's great. Even now, even though it's pretty early days yet with a lot of stuff, but they are starting to deliver with Star Citizen now, which is fucking awesome. Do you think they'll send out our Chris Roberts signed game boxes and the rest of gear when Squadron 42 launches? Cog said, I assume you're talking about the sort of like limited edition ones. I believe so. Have I subscribed to PewDiePie? Yes, Battle, of course I have. If only to make sure that a faceless corporation don't get the most subscribed YouTuber. Not a massive fan of PewDiePie. He's like several billion years too young, audience-wise, for me personally. But you know, he wasn't in YouTube Rewind, so that's a positive. Got everything ready for Christmas presents, etc. I think so. I might do something Christmas present-y for the community. I'm not sure what. Something, even if it's just a silly video or a giveaway or something. Giveaway, though, just promotes my own channel, and that's the typical use for giveaways, so maybe that's a bit of a stupid idea. Something. I'll do something. Does my milkshake bring all the boys and girls to the yard? It has yet to bring anyone to the yard. The police, maybe. If you get the game, is there anything you can do besides flying around a bit? You can walk around a bit as well. 3.4, there's a lot to do. Ops Shadow. There's missions, mining, exploration, go around planets, fly around space. There's some solid gameplay loops and lots of different types of mission. So like delivery and pickup missions, bounty hunting missions, that sort of stuff. Can you please do a video on how to report bugs, make suggestions, and otherwise provide feedback to CIG? Yeah, I can, actually. I thought I had one, but I suppose even if I did, it would be so old now. I'll do that as a priority. I'll get that done next week. So, what shall we... So, how to report bugs, make suggestions, otherwise provide feedback to the solution. Like Star Citizen, get involved in the project, or have your say. It's your game too. Oh, no, I'll think of more ideas later, otherwise I'll just rapidly iterate on names and I'll go mad. You know you're addicted to BoredGamer when you take his live stream into a public restroom and you get strange looks from others. Cogset. I don't know how many people know this. So, when I went to CitizenCon in the UK in 2015, Saurus was live calling me. Okay. I was pretty drunk towards the end, and I go into the restroom and I have a bit of a pee, a bit of urination. I'm in the urinals, so you can see my face still. I'm chatting to him, and Aaron Roberts walks by, and he goes, "Is that Aaron Roberts?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're in the toilets." "Yeah, it is." Like, kind of next point at Aaron and walk off. Oh my god! Like, thank God I didn't get any. Yeah. Oh. I drink a lot less now. Any clue if they're still planning on having the staff era be capable of switching from fuel pods to the normal cargo pods? For dry cargo, I don't know. I think those things will be modularly changeable.
Such a well-polished, shiny, bald head. Keep it real. The preceding message has been brought to you by the letter H and the color blind. XD.
Thanks, Harbinger. I love your face. If anyone doesn't know, that's more funny because Harbinger is technically blind. He's a monster. You're a monster with taking the piss out of yourself, Harbinger. Thank you very much. Love your face, dude. You are a champion amongst peoples. Thanks for the Ristic Answers board. Really appreciated. You happy bald chap. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate. Let's start just saying appreciate. Silent A's. Is there any reason to keep the Gladius if I also have a Sabre? There doesn't appear to be a significant size difference between them. They both have lifetime insurance. So we won't know really how they perform until we have the new flight model. And then still there's going to be balance and stuff. On paper, the Sabre is better. However, on paper does not necessarily make a ship better. It literally will come down to how it performs in game. So it's too early to say. However, I got rid of my Gladius and I've got a Sabre. But I also now have a Super Hornet. My Super Hornet will eventually become a Vanguard Sentinel. But in the short term, I've got a Super Hornet so I can complete missions more easily that are combat orientated, because it's pretty easy to complete missions in the Super Hornet. It's got a load of firepower. It's pretty damn tanky. So it's easier for me to film stuff while I'm just messing around if I'm super tired or whatever. If I go exploring in deep space with a ship that allow space that I was in when I left. Okay, so will you be back where you were? If your ship has a bed, you can log off in your bed, in your ship, literally go into the bed, and then log out as an option once you're in your bed, in your ship, and then you will respawn where you left. So that whether that ship's landed on a planet, whether you're in space. That is the idea. Hasn't always worked previously in the past, but it does work reasonably often for me anyway. As long as there hasn't been an update or whatever, because that does reset wherever you are. But eventually, in the full game, 100% where you log off is where you will log back on. But you might need to log in a bed to be logging out safely. And at the moment, you have to log out in a bed, otherwise you won't be where you were, unless you're on a planet, in a city, or Grimhex or Polar Star, one of the major landing zones. And then you'll respawn in one of the hubs there. When will the science mechanic be coming in game? Science covers so many mechanics, and not just a single one, and I think science will probably be the one that they finish last. Because it's all-encompassing of so many different things. Even exploration is sort of like part towards the science mechanic, but science is a huge amount of stuff. Will we be getting buyback tokens for 3.4? I can't remember when buyback tokens are coming. These are the clothes that I really like. So this is Jeremiah Lee's concept art for the business district, sort of like high flyers in Lawville, in Hearthstone Dynamics. And this is sort of fucking clothes I want to be wearing. This is cool. Got Nomad Black as an org that I run, or will be running. And the BoredGamer org, and I will start recruiting for them at some point and talking about what we're going to do and actually running them. If you're interested in joining BoredGamer type activities, come in the Discord, discord.gg/BoredGamer. I'm not really doing anything at the moment, but I will be very soon, within the next month or so. I'm going to start doing things regularly, and I'm going to need people to help me organise that stuff so that they regularly run, even if I'm not there. And also Zin will be joining us soon, and G and Zen are actually starting to stream this as well now, which is great. What's your most anticipated career mechanics? Anticipated, spelt with none of the right letters. Mechanics for 2019. What are you looking forward to the most? Good question. I don't know yet. I'm going to hold off on answering that properly until we've seen the roadmap updates next week. At the moment, it is probably the new flight model though. New flight model with 3.5. That is when it's worth me sitting down for at least 2 hours a day to learn how to fly, to get good at flying. Don't need to be the best pilot, but I just need to be in the top few percent of pilots so that I can confidently play the game without people going, you fucking scrub, why should I watch your channel? You scrub-a-dub-dub, get in the tub, get clean, you noob. Or something like that. Whatever people say nowadays. What do you think about a typical day of Chris Roberts looks like? I think he gets into the office, he reviews a billion emails, occasionally goes to meetings, all of the team leads talk to him, and he says what he likes and doesn't like. I think that's the typical day. I'm assuming it's pretty busy. What do you think about the current state of the light fighter? Well, mobility is very powerful, having 50% less shields and damage feels rather weak. The light fighters are supposed to fill a specific role, to run things down, but also to disengage whenever they want. They are skirmishers, typically. So you can go, I'm bugging out whenever I want. But they can also go, I'm going to run you down when you try and bug out, if you're in a slower ship. So they all have uses. And they aren't supposed to be in a slugging match with medium or heavy fighters. But they're very good, for example, at pushing bombers away or making them think twice as quickly as possible and things like that, and running bombers down. Well, at least on paper. Thanks, Flightmate. I'm doing well. Have you been raiding the first and family wardrobes? I got a beautiful top hat and a moustache. That's what I need. I need a mark on and a top hat. I will actually purchase something like that in a minute after the stream. Oh, I've got loads of ships, Dandy. I'll have to go through all my ships. I'll do an update video towards Christmas, and I'll talk about stuff that I've loved over the last few years and hated about the Star Citizen project, and what I've got and how I got into it. I'll do a proper BoredGamer channel update, or BoredGamer, this is how I got into the project sort of video. And I'll cover that in that. It's a good idea. Let me actually write that down. BoredGamer, how I got into the project. What ships do I have? Hopes for the game. Hopes for the channel. Something like that. It's a good idea. How do I successfully get Star Citizen ships from non-Star Citizen players for Xmas? From? What? I don't know what you mean, Colton. Just tell them what you want. Tell them to give you money. If it's ships for you. Looking towards the future, what kind of content, whether announced or unannounced, would you like to see eventually added? Manufacture, even if it doesn't necessarily have to be ship manufacture, but weapons, armaments, items. I'd like to see players refining and manufacturing their own gear. It will make bases a lot more important. If you just say you can only make this sort of stuff in gravity areas or whatever, or in certain areas, or you need loads and loads of metal or whatever, then you have these pirate outposts and the more unlawful areas. You'll see these bases appear. Well, not even outlaw areas or whatever, but in the more sort of like Wild West land claiming areas, you'll see these bases appear, and to dislodge other organisations from that area, you'll have to take out their base and find it and stuff. And I think that helps with that gameplay. And the reasons you'd have to do that is because as soon as you cut off their supply lines, they'd have to go back to lawful space or towards the centre to actually get re-equipped again. But if they can manufacture their own goods, then they can stay in that area, and then that's important. That area then becomes quite important. Are we backers contractually obliged to love the Carrack shrinkage? The Carrack has not shrunk. The Carrack has increased by 2 meters. The Carrack is bigger than it's ever been, than we ever thought it was going to be anyway. Well, that's not actually true, because they did say that it increased in size. And people thought it was going to be the 170 meter one. But you know what I mean, it's bigger than the 123 meter one. It's 125 meters now. That is bigger. And you're not contractually obliged to like that. You can have your own opinion, and that's fine. You can say, I want it bigger, I want more things on it, whatever. I like the idea that it is a compact Corvette focusing on exploration, but it can do a bit of everything. And that's the joy of the Carrack. And I want it to be fast. I want it to be maneuverable. I want it to have good weapons, and I want it to be as small as possible. I just do. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I get the idea that if you had it a bit larger, you could have a different ship in there that's not the Pisces. But the Carrack, and you could have like a light fighter or something like that. But I don't know, I love the idea of the Carrack. And I think if you're trying to make ships do everything, or you're trying to make them all perfect, then everything becomes sort of like very similar. Well, the same thing happened to the Orion. Now, so the Orion doubled in size because it needed to double in size, and that's because of the angles of it and the length of it, and they needed to re-white box it. But so the Orion is huge now. The Orion did double in size and is going to be at least double in size as far as I'm aware. Regarding logging out in ship, what if your ship is moving? Set course for Hurston and log? No, so they don't want you to be logging out on the move, I don't think. And you won't be able to travel while you're logged out, unless someone else is flying your ship. Why do I lose my ship loadout when I reclaim my ship? Because you're reclaiming the base hull with the default weapons in it. Eventually, that might not be so. Eventually, you might be able to preset loadouts and entirely ensure loadouts as well. What do you think about gender-neutral armor? Do you believe SIG should give the option to wear overly sexualized clothes? No. You don't need overly sexualized clothes, do you, really? They'll have dresses. They'll have female-specific things and male-specific things when it comes to clothing, but armor typically will be gender-neutral. Do you think when CIG adds insurance to all backers who already bought a ship with real money lifetime insurance? Do you think? I don't know. So I get confused by that question. I don't see the need for overly sexualized things in games or not. I mean, it's sort of like it's a neutral thing. I don't want to have to go on Steam and just see a load of anime porn games. Not my cup of tea, really. I like good anime games, though. I was talking about Zen about this the other day. I was like, why do they have to ruin everything by just overly fan servicing? I don't need fan service, but I'm not going to be like, oh my god, I can't believe they put this in the game. I don't care for it. I don't care about it. Right, you know what I mean? I'm not going to overly complain about it if it's there. I don't really care. Do you think it would make more sense for the Freelancer turret to be operable by players in the cockpit secondary seats? Yeah, a remote turret would work as well. I think that would it actually make more sense. Or you should use Starship 42 to review your ships and hang on and talk about why you have each. Okay, I'll look into it. I'll look into exactly what I want to do with what I was talking about. Do you know the backstory to why Mission AI combatants are so derpy? When Crusader Security would back out and kill you in 3.7, they are far from derpy. They're just trying to make the pathing work in the new areas so that they can spawn in and know what to do. And that's caused some issues with the online stuff in those areas. It's probably because they're new, but it could be a lot of knock-on effects from other things in the patch. Could the middle section of the DUR be a quantum refinery? Yes, that's what I actually think it is. I think it's a quantum refinery and potentially also a number crunchy machiney things. But yes, something to extend the DUR's range so it can go out exploring for longer periods, if not indefinitely. Should we expect the Banu Merchantman to get smaller as well? I wouldn't expect the Banu Merchantman to be megally huge. I expect the Banu Merchantman to be very big, though. Any concepts on ramming ship? Well, the Hammerhead has got a reinforced sort of like, so it can ram, but it's not obviously ideal. And then lots of Vandal ships will be rammy ram. Latency. Will there be a way to single out a server port for best ping or gameplay? Oh, I see. Maybe in the future, Leo. The gentleman and people pulling assets out of the game in an offline version of Star Citizen, example Idris, did CIG make their position known? Not really, Samayeti. I mean, if you look on the end user license agreement and terms of service stuff, it basically says don't fuck around with our assets and pull them out things offline and use them in that way. So that's very, very generalistic broad strokes that I've just put there. So it looks to me like it's against the EULA. But CIG are pretty lax about enforcing stuff like that when it's obviously not there to fuck around with their game. The guys there, Unknown 44 and Heavy Bob and stuff, they just want mods. They want the modding community. They want cool things for the game. So that's definitely their intention. Some of the stuff they're using though is quite hacky. I say hacky. It basically gives them console rights, so they can spawn stuff in their offline PU. So it's whether or not how Star Citizen choose to enforce their sort of like terms. They could say don't do this. They could say that your accounts are banned or whatever if they wanted to. But hopefully they'll take the position of we're going to rewrite our policy to be very clear, or we're going to say what we do want or don't want, or maybe they'll start talking about modding, or maybe they won't say anything at all and they just leave it. So no school girl cosplay outfits. You might see them in game. I've got one, IRL. What is your opinion on the state of pirates in the persistent universe? Do you think some of the actions damage interests of new players? Potentially, yeah, but it's hard to tell who the new player is, and the pirates still need their gameplay as well. So I'd rather people be desensitized to the whole pirate killing people thing, and people just sort of like get on with the game. I know that's sort of a very sort of like, yeah, but there's lots of situations where that might not be appropriate. Obviously, I don't want new players just spawn in the game and then get pad rammed, or won't be able to do anything because pirates are on them. But I do want that pirate gameplay there, so that's important as well. Rain and weather will be a thing, and there is someone working on it and has been working it for a long time. So we'll start to see that phased into the game more and more. You rock. Your videos help me a lot. Thank you very much, Jake Shear. Thank you very much for the money. I love you. Thank you. How will they fix the 600i? Currently, you can't get back into it when you EVA out into space. Is that in 3.4, is it? They'll fix it. How much of a donation do I need to make to get you to sing a good Christmas? To make you... Why do I think sing? How much of a donation do I need to make to get you a good Christmas goosing? What? Oh. John, what do you... I don't know. How much do you think I need to pay DC for him to grab my bum? Why have I got such odd viewers? Why? Why do you want to pay me to be groped? Why is this? Does it sound like they tried to explain why all... That's right, let's recompose myself. Does it sound like they tried to explain why all the female characters will be very, very flat-chested? Even the concept images are unrealistic, freaky-looking pancake-chested females. It's only the armour. The armour is supposed to be gender-neutral. So they're not overly cleavaging anything. Well, they're not cleavaging any armour, that's what it looks like. But the clothes, there will be sports bras clearly in the future. I mean, there will be boobies, and there will be women's, and there will be clothing, but they won't overly sexualise stuff. But they're not going to be... Not everyone is going to be flat-chested, as far as I'm aware. If I buy Prospector for money in-game, will I lose it, or will it still be on the account after the patch reset? Expect anything that you buy with Alpha UEC purchases, otherwise known as, so ships and items or whatever, and your Alpha UEC balance to be reset every major patch at the moment. However, in 3.4, you're going to be earning a lot more Alpha UEC a lot quicker. Like, there's a lot of money to be made in those missions. I was comfortably making every 15 minutes 6k Alpha UEC plus some other bits as well. You can power through those missions. What do you think about the emergent gameplay around Jumptown? Great. Cool gameplay loop. It's a cool thing that happened. I like stuff like that becomes, this is the current gameplay. Because it goes, oh, this is quite interesting. I would have covered it in some more detail rather than just mentioning it twice. Because I want to do gameplay stuff. But there's been so much to cover with Star Citizen. And there's so much going to be to cover next week. And but once Sin's working for me full time, then we'll get those gameplay videos out regularly as well. In addition to, I'd like to get 2 videos out a day in total, or 20 minutes of videos out a day. It's another way of looking at it as a metric. So a mixture of gameplay and info. Are there any ship blueprints out there that a person could use to create VR versions of the ships? Yeah, so there's people have grabbed the models, whether it's from the HoloViewer or in game, and they've put it on the 3D modeling, 3D printing websites. You have to search for them, but yes, there are out there. If you want to grab those models, it's probably worth poking CIG as well if you want to use them for anything, because they'll less likely to shit on your parade if you inform them. What are the odds of still getting the Hawk for 3.4? I think it's likely. Opinions on Star Citizen ships being stolen to put in mobile games. I think that's just pictures, isn't it? In the whatever the game was called, Art of War. Is it Art of War? I think it's Art of War. Yeah, the CIG are aware of that as well. But I think they're an Asian company and are semi-immune to prosecution, or they're allowed to use it or whatever. It's harder to work out what they're doing. I don't know, but I know CIG are aware of it. I'd pay good money to rub Bored's shiny head for like. Oh my god. Get groped again. Oh my god. I would give a large portion of that money to DC for Christmas then, I'll give it to him when he comes online in a bit. Oh, he's coming. I think Zin and him are coming around at some point. We're going to go watch like Detective Pikachu or something stupid. And then he's setting up my render server, because I've got a render server next to me which I haven't been bothered to set up. And he's also going to set up my PC better, because he seems to think that I haven't set up my M2 SSD properly, and that it's not using my SLI lanes properly, my PCI Express lanes properly, so that my graphics card might actually be only using 8 times rather than 16 times, which is a possibility. I'm pretty good with computers, but I'm not a genius. Do they think they'll ever be able to ship... I can't read now. Do you think there'll ever be a ship like the Hammerhead Corvette in Star Wars? Do I ever think there'll be a ship in Star Wars? What? I don't know. Arc of War, that's the name of the game. And John, thank you very much for the groping, by the way. That's a lot of money. Thank you, thank you. Nice coat, I know. It is in the top slot. Oh, PCI lanes, whatever, I don't know. I don't know about pusses. So I just put, the numbers are better, yeah? The higher the numbers, the better, right? Got my 8700K, that's my graphics card, right? And my a 1080 Ti, that's my processor, I think. And 64 gigs of the DDR RAMs. No, I'm using a Extreme 4. Is that ASRock? Might be an ASRock board, I think. ASRock. Probably. Oh, I'm a Gigabyte fanboy. I love Gigabyte. Where's my Hawk? I'm hoping the Hawk will be added potentially later tonight. I'm hoping it's still going to be in 3.4. So yeah, my M2 drive is in the top slot, but that should be locking out 2 of my SATA ports on my motherboard apparently, which it hasn't. So Freelancer Max or Taurus, the Constellation Taurus. Like, I prefer the Taurus. I mean, it's going to come down to what exactly you're using it for. But for cargo hauling, I just prefer the Taurus. And the Freelancer Max might turn out to be more efficient or more agile or something. But the Constellation Taurus was one of my favourite ships from ages ago. Care to guess when the Endeavour will be in game? I think it's going to be one of the last ships to be put in game. Will we get some Dyson spheres, those alien megastructures around suns in Star Citizen? I think we might see them in some systems. Maybe some like ancient dead aliens, or maybe the Kurthak or the Xi'an use them or something. Will I be able to do the peck bounce of love? I don't know what that is, Cogsand. Am I naive? Do you think we'll ever have man-made elements like small fences, chairs for small camp setups? Yeah, so I think we'll be able to move around chairs and effectively have small camp setups. They have said you won't be able to have mobile sleeping bags or anything like that, but I do think you'll be able to have your outposts and have, in your land claims, I think you'll be able to have areas where you build things like that and smaller elements, not just outposts. That's my expectation anyway. When you get a chance, please do a video talk about what happens when you die in the completed game. I have previously a couple of times. Death of a Spaceman. Death of the Spaceman is the name of the article that CIG did. And I think I've done a video called the same, if not similar. But I can talk about it again once we know a bit more information, or if the information's changed. Have you some news on Star Citizen drama where we can see the 2-sub company in the Cayman Islands and the transfer of funds? Full Guru Geek. So, with that, no one really knows what the fuck's going on there. And a lot of people say they know what's going on. They don't know shit. That's my interpretation of it. There was exchange of shares or owned shares by other companies that may or may not be owned by Chris Roberts and other directors or whatever. It's share transfer and it's public share transfer as well. It was shown in their filings, which are not being hidden by anyone. No one knows what's going on with it. It's not something that seems to be relevant in any way, shape or form, other than people saying, "Oh my god, what is this?" It's pure FUD, in my opinion. However, if you want to go look into it. It's not something that's being like hidden or shied away from. It's just a load of people talking about it as if like, haha, they're hiding something. And why is no one talking about it? Well, the reason no big media have covered it, and it's not on any websites or anything, is because no one fucking knows. It's probably really, really fucking common with a load of companies. And Star Citizen gets this sort of like super focused lens of, because of its open development and because it does have a proper hate squad after it, they get sort of like focused on, and they go, this is proof of and they make something up. This is proof of this, or this is proof of this. Oh, the Crytek lawsuit, that's the game's going under, no, did it? Come on. But if anything does happen with that, if something does appear with that, then I will cover it. But it's, like, some shares transferred from one place to another. Okay, doesn't affect the game. If there's some reason they go public, entirely public company, and start trading shares and people can buy them, then that's something we can cover. That was something, bam, straight on that. But till then, it's just sort of like, ooh, do you know what I heard? I had a rumour. A rumour of what? Things. Ooh, things. I'm not going to run that channel, not even for fucking clicks, mate. And we will cover all the news on Star Citizen, though, that I believe is relevant. I don't think people think that's relevant, do they? Like, what would they say about it anyway? Yeah, some numbers have changed between these guys. What does it mean? I don't know. No one knows. Some people say they know what it means, but the only real people that know are Chris and Ortwin and these companies involved. Thanks for listening. What is your favourite mission type at this point? I mean, the metagamer in me is the bounty hunter missions because they're quick and easy and make a lot of money. What is the Reliant rework in 3.5? Are they finally making it relevant? So there's going to be a new flight model in 3.5 as well. So yeah, there's going to be updates to it and then new flight model as well. So we'll judge it then. Where to go learn about what we want to do in game. I've got some tutorials up, but 3.4 will give you accessibility to loads of stuff in your Moby class, lots of missions. Do you think they will implement censoring to in-game chat or implement community conduct expectation rules? Both, potentially. They can put a filter in so that people can choose to have the filter on and off, and they can have rules and say, look, you're not allowed to be racist, you're not allowed to be homophobic. They don't have to have a huge set of rules. Just a blanket set of rules which are enforced in all situations. Everyone on the same playing field. That's all you want. The Hawk's not in the PTU yet, but I'm hoping it will be there soon. I hope my jacket will be in game soon. But this is a New Year's party outfit. Got some, it's for steampunk Victoriana thing, military sort of party for New Year's at my mate's house. His parties are pretty good, and there'll be a lot of people making proper efforts. So I've got all that. I need to cut my hat slightly because my head's too big. Before I go, could it be possible to have an organisation own moons or planets that only their members can enter? Yeah, they can have a base that's like that. I suspect you'll be able to set up bases so that people can use refineries and pay to use refineries and bases and things like that as well. But you can have org mates using them. You can. I suspect there'll be lots of stuff like that, permissions and things that you can set. Have you some news on the Star Citizen? Oh my god, I literally talked about that. Wow, are you just posting and not listening? Right. Poor man, you're my morning news station. I know it would be more work, but if you made 5 videos a day, I would watch them all. Wow! I wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't make them either. Sin's working for me soon. We're about to do twice the amount of work, if not more, because of that. More streams, more gameplay, better videos, better editing. Have you seen Google's Project Stream competition heating up for your boys at Shadow? Fucking good. That'll help them make better products. I like Shadow. I like the fact they're developing Shadow still, and it goes hand in hand quite well with Star Citizen. And I'm glad that there's some proper competition. Shadow will probably get bought by Google at some point, is my expectation. But they're doing pretty well. I like the product. It's easy to shill for someone when you believe in their product. And also, they don't pay me directly. They don't pay me for individual videos or anything. I do get a kickback from anyone using my BoredGamer code when they sign up for Shadow, though. So I'm not incentivized to do a specific video for Shadow. But I might start doing Shadow news occasionally. I thought about that the other week. It was like once every few months. There's been some updates to Shadow, maybe, because I do really like it. The roadmap still shows a lot of tasks in all areas incomplete. Will this affect the release of the patch? Potentially. They might move some stuff back if it's not done, but typically that stuff will be done. So we'll have to wait and see. How long did your Shadow take to activate? 2 days, but I think the average is 5. They are rolling out Shadow to a lot of the US relatively soon, I believe. And they have plans to expand and put more data centers around the world, I believe, as well. So Star Citizen is taking money from other developers, and rightly so. Some can and will dirty with their tactics, like mudslinging. You know, maybe. I don't think. Star Citizen isn't taking that much money away from other projects or anything. You've got to remember that 210 million is nothing compared to some of the huge amounts that Blizzard make and microtransactions that other games make. They're billions a year. They're billions and billions a year. So Star Citizen wants to release Squadron 42 as soon as possible. It wants to get Star Citizen as mainstreamer sort of line as possible, as soon as possible, because then it can make a lot of money. I honestly suspect that Star Citizen will make 100 million or so in the first few months of it being released, Squadron 42 being released. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's too outlandish either. Okay, streaming future prediction: Google Shadow or Amazon waiting back and learning from others and leveraging AWS and Lumberyard. I don't think the technology is there yet to just jump in to this. It needs a bit of development. Shadow is pretty damn good, but it could definitely be better. The latency for some people is too bad, and it's because they're not close enough to the their exchange center, not close enough to a Shadow exchange or whatever. Although internet connection's not as good, but give it a little bit longer, and I think we could move into a market where most things, if not everything, is cloud-based, and then you just have enthusiasts with their own hardware. I mean, and I'm talking like in 20 years' time, but when can we expect the release of the A2? Don't know about those Hercules. Actually, I do know a bit about them. So Crusader Industries ships, they're going to be built one after another. I think it's going to be the... they're going to be built one after another, and so maybe expect the Star Runner first, maybe towards the end of next year. It's when they'll start working on it anyway. If Star Citizen goes public with shares, they should give backers shares based on the individual pledging to the project. I don't know about that. I just want them to make a good game. They owe us a good fucking game. And it needs to be pretty damn good. Doesn't it? Like a lot of us that have been backing for a long time, we've been very patient, we've been very understanding, and we want a good game out of it. And that's all they deserve. That's all we deserve and all we should get. Anything else, great, but I want some good games. we are owed that. And people I know a lot of people think that I'm not harsh enough on Star Citizen, or I'm too much of a fanboy, or I'm a cult leader or whatever. I cover Star Citizen relatively neutrally. I'm not going to be, you should be angry at this kind of pitchforky thing. I'm not going to be like, you should love this. It's up to you what you think. I will cover the game as I see fit, based on, I don't know, my bias or whatever, but I do try and cover the game as news. And I am a Star Citizen fan channel, so bear that in mind. But, we definitely calls to action if the game is shit, and I'm expecting Squadron 42 to be Half-Life / Half-Life 2 levels of revolutionary. That is my expectation of it. That is my mark for it to get 9 out of 10. Okay, so that I'm hoping that I really love it, and it's perfect. That'll be perfect. But we're gonna see. That's the level I'm holding it to. Is the Gladius good? It is in the moment. I like the Gladius. However, we need to look at it in the new flight model 3.5, March 2019. What's the difference between Squadron 42 and Star Citizen? You and fans on here speak about it as two separate games. Effectively, is two separate games. So Squadron 42, single player campaign. You can play it entirely standalone. It's before the persistent universe, so it's typically what they want players to do is play Squadron 42, the campaign, which is going to be very much like Wing Commander, but you know, pretty. And then you'd go into the multiplayer persistent universe in Star Citizen. But you could play either or. So Squadron 42, single player campaign, bam. Very story driven, well, entirely story driven. Got Gillian Anderson and Mark Hamilton and loads of like AAA super actors there, so it's going to be beautiful. Oh, Jared White, thank you very much. Here's for all your hard work. Oh my god, I love you, and I love your Portal picture, and you're the best. $50, thank you very much. It didn't even have to get groped by someone. Thank you very much. That's appreciated. $50. Thank you. Since players won't be in the same instance, how will the system deal with the potential of two players in different instances playing the same plot of land and those logging in to the same instance at the same time? So what they want is they want everyone to be on the same instance eventually. They are going to obviously be putting in land claim mechanics before that, but stuff will reset relatively regularly. So it doesn't matter where you put your plot of land, it will get reset or whatever. I think what will happen is that they're still building that out. They do want everyone in the same server if possible, in the same instance. And with server meshing, they can do that, because the servers literally break up things into boxes and then just string the boxes between each other. And you can have that based on population. And the planets are massive. They're huge. So they can do that relatively easily. on paper. So we'll have to actually see as it go forward. But that's the plan. Whether or not that's going to be doable, that's a different thing. And if they have to do it a different way, then they'll tell us about it and we'll see how it goes, sort of thing. Like, do you think it would be a good idea to have either a compass or heading indicators in ships for navigating planets? Yes! Yes, we want to be able to roll into planets as well from the star map. They've talked about that before, and have ways of navigating on foot. 100%. That'll be great. Totally need that. What will the final economy look like? Player-driven or static? It's going to be player-influenced, but it's going to be simulated with NPCs as well. So that players will, players' missions and that sort of stuff will affect it, but then there's a huge amount of people and NPCs that will be in the game and that will be living on planets, and they will be simulated. There's an amazing talk about how it's going to work from Tony Zorovic. There's a video of it as well from CitizenCon, and I've done a summary of that video if you want to check in my CitizenCon videos. But yeah, it's going to be partly simulated and partly player-driven and influenced, and then heavily mission influenced as well. So the economy and subsumption, which is all part of, will generate missions based on the needs of planets, based on the needs of shops and ships being destroyed and things happening. Any idea on how the rework of the Redeemer will go, size and weapons wise? Not really, other than the Redeemer is being entirely redone and it's going to be a gunship. I wonder if you will eventually be able to pay CIG for some form of rent to be able to control a planet or moon in the PU. You'll be able to control that in-game, however, you'll have to enforce it yourself. I doubt they're going to have players buying moons for millions of dollars IRL. It'll be an in-game thing. And planets are big, and blockades and things are going to be a thing. Opinions on capital ships of smaller orgs? Corvettes and things work. Anything bigger than that, even like the Javelin's probably too big. And I've got a Javelin. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing, isn't it? I'm not going to be able to make proper use of it. Well, actually, maybe I will. But it'll be with the derpiest crew known to man. That's you guys. Will we see future release of Squadron 42 in 2019? I think that's a hope. I want it to be. I'm hoping they announce that next week. I don't expect it, though. I've been burnt too many times. If two orgs fly at each other, both with 10,000 players' ships, for a massive space battle, can the server mesh handle that? Not yet. Doesn't exist yet in technology-wise. They're going to be slowly adding more to it, and then we'll see what it can do. If it's in a huge area of space, I expect it can, because it can cut those individual boxes up into large areas, and then say, well, there's only 50 ships in this area, or 100 ships in this, or 200 ships in this area. Bam, easy. Tepagru checking in. Are you streaming today, G? Any Star Citizen or anything? What are you doing? I'm going to go offline in a second, you see. I want to eat. Or at least drink. I'm thirsty as F. What will happen if to a ship bought with real money if it is destroyed with no insurance in the finished game? If it's destroyed with no insurance, it's probably going to be lost. However, there might be an statutory insurance level for ships, so they can never be truly lost. They might just cost a lot to get back, but not as much as it would have been if you had just bought it. Do you see what I mean? So we'll see if there's statutory insurance on things. If you lose it in an outlaw area, and you're an outlaw and you've stolen the ship, it's probably just gone, though. You can salvage it. Anyone ask about the Hawk not being in the PTU yet? Yeah, a few people did. I'm expecting it to go into the PTU. No confirmation of that, but it's an expectation. Obviously, we saw the model on the show floor at the anniversary. So, but ships are going to be insurable at a very minimal cost as well. So there's no reason not to have them insured. It is to help drive the economy as well, so that superinflation doesn't happen. But that's my expectation of it anyway. They might. I mean, it all needs to be balanced still. So this stuff's in flux. Pretty much everything I've ever said is in flux. Do you guys think these new female models will dominate in FPS because they're slightly smaller? Potentially. That's what I'm thinking. If they are slightly smaller, they probably won't dominate, but they might be slightly better. Min-max. What's my nice suit I've got on? So, my mate's got a Steampunk Victoriana party on New Year's, which I'm going to, and I just literally just came through the post. So I've got that, and I've got some steampunk stuff. I've got a gun sword as well. No, it's not. Did they sell my gun sword? I've got a saber. I used to LARP a lot. If I had more room, I could show you some sword stuff. Oh god! Oh no! Don't worry about that. No one's dead. I'm okay. Oh my god, don't call me Squall. Oh my god, you monster. I need to be thinner and more androgynous. Any excuse indeed. Thank you. I do look sexy. Appreciate it. Bam. If I could donate to you, I would. Following up about that insurance question, could you possibly buy lifetime insurance for a ship in game if you don't have it instead of paying once in a while? I don't know, Microtech. I doubt it, but possibly. Maybe they just have lifetime insurance available at ridiculously high cost in game. But I doubt it. I don't know. It's stuff they haven't really talked about yet. They haven't given hard answers on, probably because they haven't decided yet. Would you wear those Hurston clothes in real life if you've got a chance? These? Or the ones in game. Yeah, definitely. I do LARP and I go to costume parties and stuff. Well, I used to really regularly. Not for the last couple of years. I've become more reclusive, a little bit more scared of life. However, I'm hoping that that's over now. Going to go out on New Year's. Going to have a good time, but not too much of a good time. What AI features are you anticipating the most that are not on the roadmap yet? NBC Cruise. NBC Cruise all the way. As soon as we got that, that's going to be amazing. And AI turrets. Putting blades in turrets and making those ships be able to shoot things. Oh. Yeah, hopefully you can set up just auto payments for insurance or prepay. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping as well. I'm assuming you'll get warnings if your ship isn't insured before you try and take it out. Do you think smaller orgs will have a chance against larger orgs? My org is worried about getting rolled by larger orgs with multiple capital ships. How will this be dealt with? Brett, again, if you ever played EVE, you'll notice that skilled players can beat other organisations that are significantly larger, even with escalation. DC will tell you, and we'll talk about it at some point, like more on stream or in video. Smaller orgs can absolutely annihilate larger orgs, especially when it's to do with organisation. If you've got a small org that's well organised, you can hit things hard, quick, fast, and there's a large travel time in Star Citizen, so you can be done before anyone else is able to respond. There's so much you can do with smaller orgs, okay? So just bear that in mind. You're not. If they all bring their weapons to bear on your smaller org at your base in overwhelming force, yeah, you're probably screwed. But it's going to be harder to find. Why would they do that in the first place? Is there going to be a change in star map navigation choosing target to jump? Current is not too fast and not user-friendly in my opinion. They're going to constantly upgrade and change that star map to be better and better. It's a billion times better than it used to be. I'll tell you that. Right. I am going to go because I'm going to get a drink because I've got a migraine. I've got the end of flu. And we get a bit painkillers, jam them in my face, get a drink, and feel better. Is anyone streaming? If you're streaming, Gio will host you. If you're not streaming, well, then you're a filthy scrub. Filthy scrub. Okay, well that's fine. I'll just host someone else then. I don't speak Russian, although I appreciate your Russianness. Right, who is around? Got any new people? Anyone new that has a face? This... answer the last couple of questions as well if some have appeared. We'll give Detox some love. Stop saying that in the chat, please. As 3.4 is currently 58. Is it 58 gigs? Oh my god. How many gigs do you think a 30 to 40 system beta will be? Well, that stuff's a lot of procedural tech, but I don't know. People are saying maybe 100 gigs decompressed, but it could be a lot more now, couldn't it? Any thoughts on CIG selling shares? I don't care really, as long as they bring me a good game. Although we don't know anything about those trades and exchanges at all, do we? It's just a load of people just going, oh, this means this and this means this. They have no fucking clue. They have no fucking clue. We don't fucking know. And it's probably not a big deal at all. However, if something becomes known or becomes a big deal or it's relevant, I will cover it. So I'll keep on it and keep watching it, but it doesn't seem relevant at all. I'd love to buy some if the shares go on sale. Yeah. Don't sub to this guy. He never gives out ships like he says. Not once has he announced a winner, and not once have I seen someone say they won something. Huh! Well, that's strange, because I have a thread with all the winners, and you can probably contact them. You cheeky little lying scrub. Fuck you. How fucking dare you. Let's bring this shit up. Ba 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 ba. There you are, mate. There you are. There's my there's my Reddit. Every month. The people are announced on there, and there's screenshots. Oh, there's screenshots of the players' fucking names. Let's have a fucking look. Let's have a look at November's winners. 1 second. Oh, what's this? It's a load of screenshots of people that exist that you can contact on. Oh, you can contact them on your YouTube, and they real. Oh, not once have you seen. What a filthy, dirty lie, you fucking piece of shit. Fuck you. Sorry. I cannot stand shit like that. Oh my god. Ugh, you fucking idiot. Sorry. And that is why I don't cover more explosive topics, because it will just be me ranting. Look, just, what? Why are you saying that? You have no proof of that. In fact, it's demonstrably, easily disprovable what you are saying. You're an idiot. I'm sorry, but that's true. Actually, you're probably a troll. But, you know. That's why I don't do well with trolls. When are we getting FPS AI on planets? It's in 3.4. They are pretty derpy, though, at the moment. Is there a way to split your install between an SSD and a standard drive? But, no. What? Get out of here, you scummy troll. Right. And after that, bombshell. Oh no, someone's asked a question again. Would you mind if I spoke for everyone sane in the channel and say, right, Fuck off to Trolly McTrollface. Let's go. It's okay. It's done. It's over. It's good. Just I got triggered. I apologise. Do you still get a Raven with Octane drives? I don't know. However, I bought a load of Raven codes, which is what I've been giving out for my my giveaways. I think I've got one left, maybe after this month's. So then we'll be moving on to other things. Right, after that bombshell, after my explosion, we are going to host someone else. Also, don't subscribe to people just for giveaways. If you want good Star Citizen content, then subscribe to people like me or Nubifer. I hope my Star Citizen content is good anyway. At least it's semi-informative. At least it's honest and real. That's what triggered me. I am blunt and honest. And if I was a bit more of a dick, I could make a lot more money. But I'm not, because, you know, I think long term actually being less of a dick and being honest about stuff and blunt about stuff is probably better. But you know what I mean. You take care, guys. We're going to go host Detox. Love your faces. You take care. Give him some love.